Hello vintage enjoyers, Maxtortion here with an exciting vintage video. That's right, coming off fresh from taking down the Eternal Weekend North America Vintage Championships, your champion, me, is playing the deck that I used to win it. That event was awesome. It was a 407 player sanctioned vintage event. I came in owning 0 pieces of power. I walked out owning 4. So in person now I have a Mox Sapphire, I have a Mox Jet, I have an Ancestral Recall, and I have a Time Walk. Which is really, really cool. To build this deck, I need to buy a Mox Pearl in person, not too bad, and a Black Lotus, which is a little bit more expensive, but we'll get to that eventually, I hope. This YouTube channel takes off, it might get easier. Anyway, so this deck is awesome. It's just a fair mid-range deck that plays good, clean Magic in the most powerful way possible because this is vintage, right? We've got our removal spells. I've got 3 Swords to Plowshares and 1 Prismatic Ending in the main. In the actual championship, I played 4 Plows main, but Dave Kaplan's Esper Lurrus top 8 list, he was doing this 3-1 split as a way to answer stuff like a Resolved Oath of Druids, Chalice of the Void, Nihil Spellbomb, like all these things that you really just non-creature permanents you want to clear in game 1. Just having a way to do that is nice, and this 3-1 split is pretty solid there. So I kicked the 4th Plow over to the sideboard and replaced one of the 2 Fatal Pushes with the Plow. So down to 1 Fatal Push in the 75. Other than that, this is basically the list I used to win the Vintage Championship. So I also made a small change to the fetch land base. I was playing 3 Flooded Strand and 3 Scalding Tarn because I had lent a friend of mine 4 Polluted Delta and 4 Misty Rain Forest so that he could play Froginator in Legacy. And so I didn't have these cards on me at the moment, so I played the Scalding Tarns and Flooded Strands. However, I think that playing 4 Polluted Delta masks what deck I'm on as much as possible because there's a lot more blue-black decks, and like the blue-black Lurrus deck plays 4 of these because it plays Basic Island, Basic Swamp. This, however, plays no basics, so to be, I guess, maximally Pithing Needle immune, I'd do a split all the way down and like even play like a Marsh Flats, but I think that disguising the deck is a little bit more important, so I'm playing 4 Deltas. Other things I'm doing here is I did as much as I could to get a stable mana base in this deck. You can see I'm only playing 3 Wastelands, I'm playing a Karakas, I'm playing a Lotus Petal, just as a way to get like turn 1 Lavinia, turn 1 Lavinia is very, very good at locking your opponent out of playing the game. Turn 1 Psychic Frog using a Petal gets that card back in the turn. You can also use Petal, like hold up Petal to hold up Spell Pierce, stuff like that. Lotus Petal's just been a pretty good card for me overall. Sometimes Black Lotus is used as the Lotus Petal, which kind of just shows you how good Lotus Petal is. Obviously, we have our broken draw spells, by which I mean Ancestral Recall, Treasure Cruise, Dig Through Time, 7 Forces, 4 Force of Will, 3 Force of Negation, 2 Spell Pierce, 1 Mindbreak Trap, so 4, 3, 2, 1, kind of funny there. And then over into the creature suite, we have 4 Psychic Frog, which is obviously, you know, a very busted Magic card. It does a lot of card advantage-y things. 2 Lavinia as a way to basically play it in very good in the matchups, it's good. Turns off opposing forces, turns off 0 drops like the Moxen. So on the play, this is kind of a lights out card. Vexing Bauble in the main is kind of another copy of Lavinia in a way that isn't legendary, and I can sack this one and draw cards with Lurrus. 2 Bowmaster, down from the stock 4. Because I think Bowmaster is really best in the mirror. It's not that good outside of it. It's okay. But like Jewel eventually, you know, get a 1 ring down and get protection and then draw so many cards it doesn't matter. Oath of Druids, it's not big enough. The initiative deck goes bigger, the Dredge deck goes bigger, so like I just don't love it outside of the mirror, so I'm only playing 2. And so what that enables me to do is it lets me play a Nethergoyf kind of as a beat stick. In this game 1 against combo decks, I kind of want to play a tempo game where I'm just trying to use like Spell Pierce and a couple forces to keep them off balance and close them out before the real hate cards come in. So having a beat stick that can just close the game fast is really good. Now how big can this thing get in this deck? So obviously we have creature, land, instant, sorcery, but we also have artifacts that hit the graveyard with this Petal, Spellbomb, and Vexing Bauble. And we have a couple enchantments. We have this Urza Saga, of course, and then we have Dress Down. So technically this can be as big as a 6-7. Usually it's somewhere around a 4-5, but I've had it once as a 6-7. A couple times it's a little 2-3, but you know, it's variable. It's a Goyf. What you gonna do? Often I will cut this post board when in combo matchups when I have like real hate cards that need to come in, but I really do like having access to the Nethergoyf, and it's pretty great in the mirrors too. So that's this Esper Lurrus deck in a nutshell. I'll see you all for round 1. Okay, here we are for round 1 of the Vintage Challenge. We're against Judan, who has typically been playing Jewel Shops. He won the die roll, and this hand is not enough on the draw. It doesn't have a force. It does have a wasteland, but any powerful turn 1 opening, which Jewel Shops tends to do, is something that I would be cold to. This has a couple forces, 2 force negation to be precise. As a prismatic ending, it has Lavinia, it has a Nethergoyf. I'm going to keep this one. I'm actually going to bin the Nethergoyf, even though I can't cast Lavinia yet, because it's a blue card for force negation, and if I can get a Lavinia in play, it's a lot better than a Nethergoyf would be in the matchup. Talon Gates of Madara. Okay. Creature's going to phase out, but it's not. Mox Sapphire. Nice target for prismatic ending. And a Wasteland. Okay, so let's see how I sequence this. I could actually keep the Wasteland around for a turn as a means to put Lurrus in the hand and be able to cast a Lurrus. Kind of like that. I'm playing around Spell Pierce right now, the way I'm sequencing this. And let's get this Pearl out of here. So yeah, I'm not going to use this Wasteland quite yet. I don't feel like this Talon Gates is as important enough. Although if he does another turn with no land drops, maybe it does become important enough. Let's pop off the Wasteland in the upkeep here. Or no, that's just a colorless land. Even though I wasted a turn not putting Lurrus in my hand here, I am still gonna pass and not compound my mistake. I made a mistake to not use Lurrus, but I'm not going to compound that mistake by again using Wasteland. Okay, cool. So Demonic Tutor. What this does is it lets me get a land. It can also let me get Black Lotus, which would let me do Lurrus stuff too. So I think, yeah, I'm going to Demonic Tutor and get a Black Lotus. This might not resolve. Okay, it does. Play Lotus, and then I'm going to crack it for Lavinia. So Lavinia is now on the stack. See if she resolves. She does. That's great. And now next turn I can put Lurrus to my hand. The turn after I can play Lurrus, and then I can recast Black Lotus from my graveyard. Ancient Tomb is a much better target for this force negation type stuff. Okay, what's my opponent casting here? Phyrexian Metamorph. That's a creature that I cannot force negation, so a little unfortunate, but we've both got Lavinias now. Phyrexian Bauble, kind of funny. Let's see here. So I could play the Bauble, pop the Bauble, and then see where that gets me. I think that's going to be my play. Source of Plowshares is where that gets me. That's a good place to get me. Let's do Ancient. Let's waste the Ancient Tomb. We're going to waste the Talon Gates now because with Lavinia in play, Ancient Tomb isn't really acceleration. You know, thinking on it more, I'm actually not going to do that at all because if I end up on 0 lands, I can't cast the Source of Plowshares on Lavinia. So I'm just going to hold it. Because if I waste, I'm at 0 lands and then I can't get anything working. Okay, 3 Mitgrim Monolith, yep. So unfortunately, this is a little bit of a shields down moment, but not too bad. This Lavinia is coming in because he wants to trade. I don't. Okay, so now we're in better shape. We can plow this Lavinia. I can attack. I'm actually going to cut him off of blue by wasting the Talon Gates at this point. And I believe I'll do that in his upkeep. Yeah, keep him off of 4 lands, which is like Paradoxical Outcome, Karn, that sort of stuff. Ancestral Recall, I don't have a blue source, but eventually I'll be able to Ancestral Recall, and that'll be nice. Three mana. Manifold Key. That is too good with this, so I'm just going to force negation it. because the key and monolith are too good of friends. Hey, a land. Okay, great. So at this point, I'm going to get an Underground Sea. I'm going to Ancestral Recall, target myself. And I found a Bowmaster. That's nice. And you've seen enough. Okay, so for sideboarding this matchup. So the cards I don't really want here are stuff like Vexing Bauble, because I'm more afraid of the Jewel spells than, like, I need to be forcing. So Vexing Bauble's not in. The Hill Spellbomb, they don't really play out the graveyard. Nethergoyf is just a beater. It's fine in game one, like not incredible, but I want to cut it here. And then I'll cut a Swords to Plowshares at least, maybe two. I haven't really played much with Prismatic Ending as the other card. Maybe post-board I do want two plows and I'm going to cut the ending. My thought here being that I need to like plow Wormcoil engines and stuff like that. So, and I also can cut Caracas because for the most part, outside of that, like, you know, Lavinia that he metamorphed for me last game, we don't really see legendary stuff coming in, so it's just a non-basic planes. Cards I do want, I want Consigned to Memory, obviously, for countering the colorless stuff. I want Mindbreak Trap because when they go off, they chain off. I want Null Rods because they're artifacts. I don't want those to activate. And I want a Pithing Needle because I want to be able to shut off the One Ring, or Urza's Saga, or Karn the Great Creator. So this is what I've got. So I'm going to sideboard. Let's submit. On the draw again. Reveal Lurrus as my companion. And this hand, I'm going to keep it because it has a turn 1 Lavinia. Opponent's going to 5. I'm really going to hope that I can ride this turn 1 Lavinia to victory, or that they're playing out a creature. Let's find out. This is like a lotus-petaled Black Lotus. Kind of funny. Let's see, 3. Your Monolith, yep. Mox Jet, is this the One Ring? Nothing, okay. We'll play out the Black Lotus, see what happens. Nothing happens. I'll play out the Tundra in case I need to like Wasteland and Plow. So I'll go white and then blue, 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 just kind of pretend I have a Spell Pierce or something, right? Blue mana is less clear on what I'm representing. So now I have a Lavinia in play. And even though he has a ton of mana, and now he's phasing out my creature, so he can do whatever, but in general, he wouldn't be able to do so much this turn. This might be a Jewel. I hope it's not, but it looks like it might be. Okay, it's a Kappa Cannoneer. So hopefully I'm able to get this Swords up high enough and fast enough that I can actually survive this thing. Don't want to play two legendaries at once. Let's, I'm not attacking. Let's just pass. Okay, so now Cannoneer's coming in for 5. It says Ward 4. So this turn I'm going to put Lurrus into my hand. I'm going to attack with Lavinia. Next turn I can play Lurrus, play Black Lotus, and then I'll be able to pay for the ward cost on Kappa Cannoneer the turn after. So I'm going to 10 now. See if Lurrus is able to resolve. Not if I pay like that. Okay, there we go. Esper colors. Lurrus, please. Great, and then Lotus from the yard. And now I'm able to attack with Lavinia. Next turn I'm able to plow this Kappa Cannoneer and pay for the ward cost. So I'm doing okay now. What's getting dismembered? My Lurrus? A little sad, but I will deal. Okay, so now Kappa Cannoneer is going to hit me down to 5. No, an artifact spell is going to enter. Please don't be a metamorph. Ah, damn it, it's a metamorph. Okay, so I can't plow this right now because it's ward 4, so it's going to get countered. That's a tough break. Okay, so now I take 6 this turn, go to 4. I need a way out of this. I think I'm going to go to 3 here and fetch because the life total isn't going to matter. Okay, so now I'm just going to plow. And then I'll crack this to pay for the ward cost so I can keep my Lotus around for hypothetical reasons. If I draw another plow, I'm technically in it. I can bog for a few turns by just blocking with Lavinia. I can force a negation artifact so that I can block. 6 artifact, no. Can't cast a jewel, I'll still have Lavinia in play. Yeah, I have to block. No two ways about that. This jewel is probably going to come down. The One Ring, huh? I don't think I want that to resolve either, so I think I'm just going to force of negation it. And I need to draw another plow or something like that. I can also just Lavinia to buy a turn. Learn Revealed is good-ish. Like I'll be able to draw some cards, but not this turn. So I draw 3 cards this turn, I won't be able to block. I think. Yeah, I'd have to find a Mox. Maybe I lure in to try to find a Mox. That's my play. Because if I can find a Mox, I can cast Lavinia, and then next turn I can find removal. That's like I need to get lucky to get out of this. Okay, that worked. So I did get lucky, so to speak. So yeah, I can play Lavinia this turn. I can block the Kappa Cannoneer provided there's no artifact that enters, and then I'll be able to plow it and pay for the ward. Okay, so we block. Yep. Tough, but what do we do? Now there's a jewel coming in. Another One Ring, okay. Could have done, no, could not have done that pre-combat because Lavinia was in play. I'm at 1, he's at 20. I am obviously not doing great here. Spell Pierce is a probably good draw. I need to get this Kappa Cannoneer out of here stat. So let's pay for the ward. 26. I'm not going to play this land because I don't have any more fetchables and I'm at 1 life. So hypothetically, I could discard it to a Psychic Frog. That's a better use of it. What's getting cast? The Time Walk, huh? Okay, there's nothing I can do about that. Or no, I could have Spell Pierced that. That was a mistake. Because these can't pay for Spell Pierce. So I should have Spell Pierced that. I was just leaving value on the table. And now this kind of goes crazy with the One Ring because this can be, Minamo can untap. This game, Jewel is probably just going to go off in a big way. I can actually counter this Manifold Key with mana on the misstep, so I'm just going to take advantage of being able to do that. Also, it untaps the One Ring, so as well, Ancestral Recall, yeah, that's fine. Infinite cards anyway. Force, yeah, sure, why not? Tell me what you're capable of. Vexing Baubles coming in. All this makes sense. He's just going to cast a Jewel and... Oh, PO. Okay, sure. Why not? So I could concede here. I just kind of want to learn a little bit more about what kind of deck he's got going. Got a jewel here, then I'll concede. Oh, Kappa Cannoneer. Okay, I'll concede to another Cannoneer. So now that I know about the Cannoneers, does that change anything about how I sideboard? Probably want a third plow. The fact that they're not colorless makes consign a little bit worse. But they're still pretty good because I can consign to counter the triggered ability. Maybe I cut the Mindbreak trap because he's not chaining off quite as hard. I'll make that swap. This time I'm on the play, so I get to play first. I get to reveal Lurrus. This hand has a Black Lotus and a Null Rod, which is kind of funny, but we'll keep it. Keep. Oh, Dress Down's another way to answer the ward on Kappa Cannoneer, so I do have that going for me. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the Lotus, crack it for blue, ponder first, because then I can shuffle with the fetch land, and I find Ancestral. Great. Okay, so 1 and a probe. So 1, 2, 3, no shuffle. Let's probe with life. And we found Force of Will with no blue card. Okay. Bunch of Moxen. So we play out Rod. There's nothing he can do. I will Ancestral myself now because there's also nothing he can do about that. I will do it with white mana, I believe. It's Ancestral me. Great. I did obviously choose wrong on that. I do have now 2 Bowmaster and no way to cast it, but I'll eventually find something. Wow, the luck. We're playing Vintage. Oh, my opponent's feeling a little salty and just said, wow, the luck in chat. But yeah, wow, the luck. Yeah, so this is fine by me. I think that I'm going to... I could brainstorm now. Oh, wait, actually. I think I'm going to pop a Dress Down into play on the end step. And then see if I can't answer this Lodestone Golem with something clean. Really couldn't find anything to do with it, so I'll just brainstorm now. Okay, Treasure Cruise is nice, and I can actually cast it because it's Moto. 1, 2. That's a little joke for those of you who have watched me struggle to cast Treasure Cruise with in the real world where I'm bad at counting my graveyard. Cool. So yeah, I got the match. My opponent was not happy about it, but yeah, that's vintage. Cool. So we're 1-0, and I'll see you all for round 2. Okay, we're back for round 2, and we're against Munchlax 446. From their Moto history, it looks like they play a lot of Dredge in this format. And so what I'm looking for here is something like a Wasteland in my 7 to Wasteland the Bazaar. I won't be surprised to see them mulliganing as low as possible to basically just try to hit, their Bazaar because they need to. So if they keep a 7, I'm in probably trouble. Looks like that's the case. But yeah, they're going to lead on Bazaar here. And they're going to activate it immediately, draw 2, discard 3. And I am going to hope that they don't have a second Bazaar, because I'm going to Wasteland this one. Yeah, 2 thugs in the yard, so dredging 4 without problem. Yeah, I need to... So I'm going to lead on a Pearl here. Okay, and then I'm going to Vexing Bauble. Because also this turns off Noxious Revival as a spell, because that gets cast for free here. So that does eat a Force Negation. And then I'm going to Wasteland this before it untaps so he can't dredge twice. Unfortunately, yeah, I wasn't able to turn off that Force Negation, but I was still able to get the Bazaar out of here. So dredging 4, hit a Creeping Chill, that's okay. another thug in the yard. So we drain 3 and there's no backup. We love to see that. Okay, so now Strip Mine is a great follow-up as well. I'm going to go for an Ancestral Recall on myself because that seems like a good play. And if I draw more stuff, I might be able to get this frog in play or whatever. Okay, well, that didn't quite happen, but I am at 7 cards and can force a negation something that he plays on his turn. Other than that, worst case scenario, I just, mill things. So Narcomoeba is going to hit play, which is going to trigger this prized amalgam and this prized amalgam. I'm facing down some amalgams now. But the old Froggo is pretty good. Another Underground Sea. I think I'm going to do that so that I have a shuffle for this Brainstorm. Yeah, Frog is hitting play. Hopefully there's no Force of Will in hand. So far, so good. And this Icarid is also a threat. I wonder if that's going to come in. It looks like it is. So I'm going to be taking 9 this turn. Nope, more than that because this Creeping Chill is also hitting. And that's going to trigger another prized amalgam. So you can see how this gets really bad really fast for me here. So yeah, I'm at 13. I'm going to be taking 6 because I'm going to be blocking one of these amalgams. So I'm going to discard this Strip Mine. I think I'm going to discard a Force Negation. Going to block here. So I take 7, go to 6. And unfortunately, this means that this amalgam will also then re-trigger. So I need to get out of this situation pronto. Let's see, my best way to do that is going to be a Brainstorm and Pray, I think. Mox this Black Lotus might actually be the key here. So I put these away, I go to 5. Let's think about that. So 6 versus 5. 2 hits from an Narcomoeba is that difference. So, but then shuffling away cards also balances that out. If I go to 5 and I have a Lurrus in play, Lurrus is going to counteract. There's going to be 2 more attackers here. I think I can't fetch. I think I have to just not fetch. And that seems so bad. Not fetch. Oh, I can dress down to shut off the amalgam, but then or the hasty Icarid, but then I don't gain the lifelink. It's tough. Okay, I think I need to put back fetch. I think I have to stay at 6 life here. I play out the Sapphire. Oh no, I could have. No, we're okay. Play the Lotus. 1, 2, 3. Lurrus in hand. I'm gonna crack Lurrus or crack Lotus for triple white. Play this. And now, on the end step, let's see here. So it's gonna be 12 power of attacking. See, I could just cycle this, but I can't cycle it yet. I think I just have to hope to get lucky here. Yeah, this is not good, but this amalgam comes into play and it triggers. Yeah, it already enters. Dress Down doesn't stop that. And now this Icarid is probably going to come into play. And yeah. Okay, Shambling Shell makes another attacker set. So yeah, I'm going to block this and I'm going to take 5, which is kind of what I thought. I'm going to do this Dress Down in my opponent's second main. Because I need the lifelink. And I know my top 2 cards are 2 fetch lands I'm not going to be able to use. So I need to clear them with a dress down, a draw, and a Psychic Frog attack, and then hope to find a Time Walk and then let that chain into something good. That's going to be my way out of this. This is obviously, beating Dredge in game 1 is very, very hard. Like, I managed to shut down their Bazaar, and I'm still in really bad shape. Just to give you a sense of how hard this is. So yeah, I'm going to go to blocks. I block here. I block here, and then I basically take 4, or take 5. So, ouch. I go to 1. Second main, I'm going to crack this for a dress down. Which again, I know my top card's a fetch land. This is why I didn't use the fetches. And then end step that gets sacrificed. I draw a fresh card for turn. Or not a fresh card, I know about that Misty. I have to basically rip into something close to a Time Walk here. I'm going to discard these 2 lands because they're not doing me any good. Time Walk time? Time Walk time, we did it. Okay, so now we Time Walk. We do the walk. And Icarus is sacrificed. Drew a force, not quite what I need. I need removal. Like a Bowmaster. Plow, okay. Does that help? I don't think Plow gets me there, but we'll see. Yeah, Plow does not get me there. But yeah, I did call shot on the Time Walk, but yeah, not quite enough. Dredge is very, very powerful in game 1. Okay, so here's how I sideboard against Dredge. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is this Prismatic Ending doesn't get me very far. This Vexing Bauble is not incredible. I kind of want the blue cards for Lavinia. Force Negation is quite bad. And then let's see. I think I can also trim the Caracas, potentially. And then Lavinia is like, eh. Dress Down is quite bad. It's just as a cycle. I want Pithing Needle for Bazaar. Let's get these 8 out of here. I want Hell Spellbomb. I want Tabernacle. You could see how that would have been great that last game. I want all of these removal spells. This puts me to 61. So I have 1 more card I can cut. It's probably a Lavinia. Although it is good at answering the free answers to Containment Priest. So maybe it's something else. Maybe it's a Mental Misstep. Mental Misstep is good against specifically Noxious Revival. But I think I'm going to cut the Misstep right now. And just try to run it like this. Okay. On the play for game 2, I will reveal Lurrus. Still my buddy. And this hand I like. It's not anything insane, but it does do a turn 1 Time Walk and then can ponder into action. So I'll keep it. So we'll start off with that turn 1 Time Walk. Get the mana development under me. Go up into my next turn. And I think I'm actually going to start with a Brainstorm because I want to change the texture of my hand, and I have a fetch land already. Fantastic. And a Containment Priest that we hit. So I can put away 1 Lorien, 1 Misty. I can play this out. And then in my opponent's upkeep, I think I'm going to flash in the Containment Priest. They have to already have the Force of Will for this to be bad for me. And obviously, if they draw the Force of Will, they'll have also had the Force of Will. So nope, they kept 7, but there's no force. They're activating Bazaar. Maybe it's a hollow one coming down. Although I do have the Swords to Plowshares for that already prepared. Let's see what the 3 cards they discard are. So they have Force of Vigor, Prize Amalgam, Bazaar. Yep, there's the hollow one. Obviously good in general, but not too good against my Containment Priest. So I'm going to ponder here. Another glyph is great, as is the spellbomb and the plow. So we'll keep all this good stuff. We'll go. See, 1, 3, no shuffle. I'm going to play out the spellbomb first. Okay, that gets Force of Negation. I'm going to play out this Netherglyph. And now, even without this plow, I can win combat here. So do they Bazaar? So they drew for turn because they're trying to find a removal spell. I think they're going to attack because, yeah, they're not looking too good defending either. But I'm happy to let this happen. So we take it, we trade. I'll attack, and then I'll plow this at some point, probably. I'm also looking at trying to find a time to get Lurrus into my hand, so that if my opponent kills this Containment Priest, I'm able to recur it quickly. Opponent's in the tank. The second Bazaar, so they're thinking about whether or not to play the Bazaar, and they chose to. So another plow. So at this point, I'm going to cycle Lorien for a land. Even though I have a land on top, this is just an easier way to do it. When I get a second Tundra, I'll play it. Then attack with these two. And then I'm going to put Lurrus into my hand. Now Lurrus is in hand, and that means if Containment Priest dies, I'm able to bring it back in a turn cycle. Hopefully they don't have the answer for it right now, because if they do, I'm in bad shape. Granted, they don't have a Dredger in yard, but I'm still potentially in bad shape. Okay, so opponent's activating Bazaar in the end step as a card disadvantage draw spell, basically. Drawing to discarding 3, trying to find a way to answer this Containment Priest ASAP. So their judgment call was, hey, do I have to dig for an answer here? And the Bending a Force, an Archimedes, and a Shambling Shell. So maybe they found something? They did. They found a Sickening Shoal. So that's really rough for me. Containment Priest is gone. And I am regretting the fact that this Netherglyph is tapped. Okay, so fortunately, it's a little bit of an anemic draw here. With these Icarus triggers on the stack, he's activating this Bazaar. Draw 2, discard 3. Found a Golgari Thug too. And a Stinkweed Imp. Okay, I'm in trouble. I'm in big, big trouble here. I am basically dead now. Because I'm taking 10 off of this. Wow. So yeah, you can see how quickly the tide turns with this deck. And maybe I shouldn't have attacked with Netherglyph, but I was trying to close the game. That was my thought, is I needed the game to end ASAP. But here we are in big trouble. And then, yeah, so these enter, and then still another Dredge for turn. So if this hits a Creeping Chill, it hit 2 Creeping Chills, so I'm just straight up dead. So 1-1 in this challenge now, but you got to see the power of Dredge. Pretty insane, right? Yeah, I have been brutalized. GG. And we're 1-1, but, you know, that's enough to win out. I'll see you all for round 3. Hello, we're here for round 4 of Vintage. What happened to round 3, you may ask? Well, my power went out, and I couldn't get back online. So I ended up getting back in with just like a couple minutes to go, and then I couldn't win in time. And I timed out. So I'm 1-2 now. Unfortunately, I lost to Jewel, or really lost to my power outage. But unfortunately, I lost the recording for that round 2 because when my computer completely crashes from a power outage, it loses the recording. Major bummer. Anyway, so we're against probably Jewel again. So hopefully we can dodge the power outage matchup and resolve our Ancestral, which with a Force Negation backup. So we'll keep this hand. Obviously, this is very good. I'm very happy about this hand. The luck is finally turning around after the power outage issue. So, yeah, you don't need to worry about that. You're just getting one fewer match of Vintage, but that was Jewel. This is probably Jewel, so all in all, we should be okay here. My opponent is considering doing something with this Mock Sapphire, or they're just sitting on not approving it. Please stamp your approval on my Sapphire. I want it to resolve. So that I can then play this Pearl, pass it to your upkeep. Oh, that's right. I need to reset. When I was trying to log back in, I had removed every single stop from this so I could just try to win in time and cheese it with a Psychic Frog. I was not able to do so. But now I have the stops again. I have my opponent's upkeep. I have their begin combat, attack, block. I have their end step. I have my upkeep. I have my main phase. I don't have my begin combat. I need my block. I have my second main phase and I have my end step. Okay. So now my stops are back in order. And my opponent is sitting on things, just trying to figure out what they want to have resolve. I'm going to do the Ancestral in my opponent's upkeep so that my Force of Negation is live to protect it. But other than that, nothing too surprising here. If this is a Force of Will, I might run it right now, just in case I have something I'd want to cast on my main phase. Say I drew into it Lavinia or something like that. So yeah, Ancestral Recall, target myself. No, I just drew 3 more things. Lots of things, good stuff, but this is looking like it's going to be Jewel again. Okay, so Mana Vault, I'm not going to fight over that. Well, it does make me want to fight over a key. I will fight over a ring. So do I force pitch dig through time? I think I force pitching dig through time because I have enough cards I want to put away. This Plow and Caracas, that this Brainstorm is pretty close to Ancestral Recall itself. And I'm probably going to Wasteland this turn though, let's be real. So first things first, or you know what? Let's make this easy. Not even going to Brainstorm yet. I'll Brainstorm once I'm able to get a fetch land up. Just Wasteland, Lurrus to hand, pass. Easy. No untapped mana sources for you. And then I can, of course, strip mine again after for this next source of mana. Okay, I guess now we both have Ancestral Recall, so the game is fair again. In a way. Some would say it's fair. Bowmaster. Let's Brainstorm first. Okay, so I don't want these plows, I think. Or I don't want... I can get rid of 1 plow and a Caracas. I can strip mine this turn, and then I can play out the Bowmaster. Like strip mine the blue. And then I can Lorien for an Underground Sea. So I still have a fetch. Like I don't need to redraw those cards. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, so yeah, back to 0 mana in play. Given that they just resolved Ancestral, I kind of want to choke them on mana as much as possible. And then, oh yeah, get Bowmaster into place. Urza Saga is a little annoying, but at least I do have a plow for that. Day Key is a little annoying, at least I can eventually answer that. I'll get an Underground Sea here, because I have a lot of white. Redrew the Caracas anyway, always had it. So yeah, I'll just pass. I don't want my opponent to necessarily know that I have this Bowmaster coming. I want them to plan as if they don't know about it. And obviously I can redraw it with Lurrus if it gets countered, so not a big deal. Urza Saga is in. Pearl is in. Now they have a lot of mana. I'm tapping the vault. Are they going to do a big PO? Looks like they are a jewel or something. Looks like they might be. Or mana at the One Ring. Okay. So in response to the One Ring, I'm going to cast my Bowmaster and deal them 1 point of damage. Bowmaster has been Force of Willed, which I can buy back with Lurrus, so that's okay. Yep. They have protection this turn. And I have a Lotus now, which is maybe convenient. Play it. No reason not to. Caracas, and then I can go 1, 2, 3 for Lurrus. Then I can recast this right now. I guess I'll hold up Caracas. So I'll do it like this. I'll deal my Lurrus 1 point of damage, because I can't target my opponent. Now it means that anything they draw with this ring, I'm able to deal them damage. So that's good for me. So they took a turn off, I'm taking a turn off. They make a blocker. No, they're just floating mana. They have plans this turn. I don't like that they have plans. I don't know what they're planning. And a fold key, so maybe it's they're just doing a bunch of key stuff. I guess so. They have 2 keys now, Voltaic and Manifold. I'll yield to the Bowmaster triggers. They've now used the Saga, so Karn is their only other way to win in the main deck. If I can somehow kill a Karn with Bowmaster triggers, then they don't have any ways to beat me in the main. But we'll see. It's not that easy to do. Not that easy to pull something like that off. Okay, what's happening now? They could untap my Lurrus, or they could untap their One Ring with Minamo. Up to them. Okay, they untapped their One Ring. I guess that's okay. I see why they did that. So obviously the Bowmaster is good here against Jewel, because it's just like dealing them a bunch of damage. But it's not lights out. They could stabilize at a low life total and beat me. Like, it might not be too easy for them to pull it off, but they can do it. Of course, they're able to untap and draw 5 cards with the ring, but that would kill them because I would deal 5. These 12 cards and all this mana is what they have to work with. Their Monolith resolves 6. I'm going to cast a Jewel. Namesake card, name in the game. Yep, a fresh ring. So that's a little annoying, but not all that surprising. They need to keep the new ring, I think. Because otherwise, yeah, they just take too much damage and die. Yeah, now I can start damaging my orc army, because it grows as I take damage, so it never really dies. I would like to draw another Wasteland effect for this Tolarian Academy. That would be my ideal draw. Like the Mana Vault's untapping. It's a One Ring? Or it's a PO. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, all these triggers go here because they can't go here. Not allowed to go face. They can draw a bunch of cards this game. But I am able to recast a Bowmaster if they flash it in or if they flash something in. I wonder how they're going to manage this. They have to beat me and they've already used their Saga. So Karn is their only win condition. Like, Vault Key is good and all, but it's not the end-all be-all. They still have to beat me. So yeah, I'm obviously like way behind this game, but maybe we can expose the weakness of Jewel in this whole situation. It's another PO. Looks like it might be. Yeah, given that they're adding mana, it looks like it's probably a PO. They draw a bunch more cards, and I make a even more giant Orc Army token. Just a coveted Jewel, okay. You may draw 3. 1, 2, 3. Lotus. Yeah, again, I'm playing this out because my opponent does need to beat me. I'm actually going to pause the recording here and I'll unpause if something interesting happens, but we can just get to whatever their end of turn looks like and we can assess where things are at. Looks like they're metamorphing me now. So they metamorph the Bowmaster. That's a little bit annoying, but I can at least recast it from the yard and I can plow this one. So I'm not in too much trouble. No, they just went straight for another Jewel. Okay, well, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Pausing the recording here, and we'll see what their end step or end of this turn state looks like. Fast forward a little bit, they're casting a big PO right now. Drawing down to 3 cards in library. I do not think they can beat me in time anymore. They have 42 cards in hand, but I don't think they can win. So let's see where this ends up. Now they're just going to recast all their stuff, which is not surprising. They have 39 cards in hand, and they don't think they can beat me. Yeah, okay, sure, do this. I'll fast forward again. They have found and resolved a Time Vault. That does not matter, because they have 3 cards in their deck. I assume they're about to demonstrate that they're taking an extra turn. Again, I don't really care. Yeah, take the turn. Yep, you've got a turn. Does not matter. They have Metamorphs in hand, so they can start, copying my stuff, but that doesn't really matter either. A Metamorph, let's see what they choose. Oh, they chose my Orc Army. It enters as a 0/0 because it doesn't copy counters. They learned that the hard way, I'm sure. Ooh, a Simulacrum Synthesizer. That's something new. Interesting. That's going to be something that they will be able to potentially kill me with if they cast a bunch of, or Mana Valley 3 or greater enters. So they'll need to be casting big stuff for that. Like One Rings and stuff like whatever. A Metamorph depends what it's copying. If it's big enough, then it will create a copy. If it's not, it won't. Oh, it's copying that, so then it makes 2 tokens, yeah. They're both 16/16s. Okay. Cards 2 on top, 0 bottom. And time to clean up. Obviously not going to swords now because I want them to discard a bunch of cards before this whole thing happens. on to use the manifold key to make this thing unblockable. I'm just not convinced they can beat me in time. Okay, have they discarded all their forces? Force, 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 force. All the forces are gone. Okay, so if I can plow this one, I might be in good shape. Workshop for turn. 16 mana. Jeez. Okay, Metamorph, what you copying? Seems gonna be the construct token. I guess if it's a synthesizer. I don't really care if it copies the construct token. Okay, copied the synthesizer. So 2 of these guys now. You have a 41/41 in play. So worst case scenario, I can just. So now, okay, tap the manifold key to take an extra turn. This is not going to work out in his favor. Okay. Okay, we've got lots of big creatures. I still don't know if I lose. Sink into stupor. Okay, so now I can gain 41 life in response to this. That can be enough. I guess the simulacrum synthesizer is the way that they could actually win this game in time. But yeah, I'm at 61 now. Bowmaster's back in hand. Sad. Okay. So they do win with 1 card in library. Nicely done, opponent. Nicely done. Okay, so they did get me there. I was kind of surprised by that, but that's okay. So let's cut Vexing Bauble, Nethergoyf, Nihil Spellbomb. I think I'm going to cut the Misstep, but I'll keep 2 plows. I want these 5 out of there, kind of, and then I'll. Dress Down obviously is looking great with all those constructs in play. I want Consigns, I want Mindbreak Trap, I want Pith Needle, I want Null Rod. And I can probably bounce the Caracas into my sideboard. Just like this. Let's submit. I'll be on the play. Esper Lurrus. And this hand has. I think I mulligan this hand because this Pearl doesn't cast Psychic Frog. If this Pearl casts Psychic Frog, I would keep it. Or if I had Lavinia, I would keep it. Mulligan. This is way better. So if this is for triple black, I can go DT, or I already have Ancestral, so keep it. Put away Bowmaster. So I have 4 mana here, so I can go. My opponent just F6. That was a mistake. Okay, so now I'm just going to Ancestral myself. And then I will play this out. I can ponder even before I crack this fetch land. And I found a Null Rod, so great. 1, 2, 3. No shuffle. And I can remember what I have on top. Not fully convinced it matters. Play a Null Rod now or to play a Frog now? And then Null Rod next turn. I think I play a Frog this turn. I can get the card advantage machine going, and then I'll play the Null Rod next turn. Very cool. Workshop, yep. And a Vault is fine by me. Soul Ring again, fine by me. I have this Null Rod coming. Four mana. What you got? If this is a Phyrexian Metamorph on my Frog, then a really funny thing that could happen here is that I end up Null Rodding and they can't activate their Frog because of the fact that it's an artifact. Looks like 6 mana. Something else might be happening. A Masticore. This card is really annoying and I need to force it, unfortunately. They're forcing back. They're dismembering. Okay. So, yep, my Frog is dead. All my Frogs are gone. Consigned to memory. So this turn I can just play out a Rod. Or I can hold up. I can go DT for a land? A Tundra? It's weird, but I think DT for Tundra is my play right now. Now I can hold up Consign to Memory, and then next turn I can Null Rod and hold up Consign still. Yeah, this is a strange turn of events, but I think it's how I want to play it. DT is a flexible card. Normally it gets your broken stuff, but sometimes it gets you a Tundra. Although, to be fair, I already have found Black Lotus and Ancestral Recall in this game, so maybe that's why I didn't need it. So now I can hold up Consign with an extra trigger. Seems great. So yeah, Null Rod in. Does not get forced. I can Consign plus Replicate. And I'm not going to put Lurrus to hand until I can cast the Consign as well. Do not care about Jet, even if there's a Tolarian Academy. Oh, come on. Don't power outage on me again. Phew. No power outage. Love to see it. Okay, so now I'm just going to put Lurrus into my hand. I have the fetch land so that I can crack it to Consign if I need to. But I'm also not making it obvious that I'm holding up a counterspell by fetching first. You get ready. The opponent's passing. I have a dig through time. Let's do that. I think I'm gonna do it on my, I guess on my turn right now. 1, 2, dig. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Much easier for me to cast Delve spells on Moto, as many people have noted. Let's see here. So I can get a Psychic Frog and a Force of Will. Seems great. Any order for these. And then I just want to leave up multiple layers of protection right now. I'm so far ahead that I don't want to risk losing to something stupid. And then next turn I can play out Lurrus. Like, this Frog is my force pitch up until I need to do something about it. Okay, Lorien is also very nice. 1, 2, 3. Lurrus in play. Okay, so now I have multiple options for force pitch. I can't cast the Frog from the yard yet, but I don't really care. When it's taking 1 per turn off of their tapped mana vault. This workshop does not help untap it. I'm not going to fight over this Lurrus, by the way. If Lurrus dies, Lurrus dies. Metamorph, huh? Metamorph on Lurrus matter? I don't think so. Okay, Wasteland is great. So I'm Wasteland the blue source because that's their way out of this situation. I'll cast Frog from the graveyard. And then I'll just pass the turn. So yeah, they're still taking 1. They attack, I can block with Frog, discard a card, and just like trade off the Frog with Lurrus. Okay, City of Traders is gone. He has betrayed my opponent. Another Metamorph, so they're going to probably copy Frog on this one. They're going to be disappointed when they notice they can't activate it. Can't use any of its abilities. Again, I'm just not all that concerned about these things. The One Ring can't activate. Again, not concerned. None of the things they're doing matter, otherwise I'd fight over it. Okay. Lavinia, amazing. Finally a card that matters too. Okay, so now not attacking because 1 ring protection. And my opponent just takes 1 off the mana vault. Slowly grinding them out. And Namo does untap the Lurrus, which is kind of funny. Taps their Lurrus, untaps my Lurrus, untaps all Lurruses. Any and all Lurruses are untapped by Minamo. But they can't Odawara. Oh, that's not good for you. Don't do that. Okay. Now they learn the hard way that they can't activate their Frog. Yep. Okay. Match tied 1-1. Let's see. Do I want to change anything on the draw? I don't think so. I like what I've got going. Run it back. Not going to forget to reveal my trusty old cat. You know, this is kind of funny. When I won Eternal Weekend, I did not face Jewel or Dredge, which is kind of funny because, you know, those are quite common decks. And in this challenge, I have only faced Jewel and Dredge. So getting a very well-rounded Lurrus experience between both of those things. So I'll keep this. It has a Mindbreak Trap. It has a forced either pitching Probe or Frog. It has a Strip Mine for this basic island if I need to. Ancestral Recall? Absolutely not. Let's go force pitching. Force pitching Frog, I think. They're forcing back. So those both resolve. Only 2 spells have been cast by my opponent, so I can't Mindbreak Trap yet. We'll draw for turn. I'm going to probe my opponent, pay life. See what they got, see what they're working with. 2 Dismembers, a Force of Will, a Saga. So maybe I want to save this Strip Mine for the Urza Saga. That was actually really good of me to see. So I will Tundra Ponder. Just to recall Null Rod Saga. Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm on board with all these cards. And I'll probably do them in this order. Okay. The opponent is drawing for turn. Playing out that Saga that we know about. So they might have a Force of Will now, which is something that I should at least be aware of. So given that, I'm going to Strip Mine in their upkeep. And then I'm going to Ancestral also in the upkeep here, because if they've drawn a Force of Will, or drawn a blue card, I want them to have to use it right now. They did draw the blue card. That means that they don't have it now, so when I slam Null Rod next turn, it's going to be more punishing. Yeah, Monolith, ramping into nothing. Not concerned about that. I can go Urza's Saga of my own, and then Null Rod. And then after this, I can even make constructs. My opponent has a City of Traders and 2 Dismembers in their hand, so I'm not itching to, cash in this Bowmaster just yet. I will play this out, so in case I do need to Bowmaster, I can flash it in. But I'm very likely just going to make a construct here on end step. So, yep. One, two, three, make a construct. And dismember it, yep. How about another one? 1, 2, 3, make a construct. They dismember this one too, that's fine by me. Really don't care that much. I think I'm going to get a Black Lotus so that if ever they remove this Null Rod, I immediately have access to a big bunch of mana. Oh, no, I'm going to get Pith and Needle for Karn the Great Creator. That's what to do here. Very clever on me. Okay. So now they're going to be in hot water because they've exhausted their saga. Karn is needled, so Masticores and stuff are still live, but outside of that, they're going to have a hard time beating me. I draw a land, I can hardcast my Break Trap. My upkeep, they're dismembering, okay. And I'm just going to pass with double Bowmaster up. I mean, only one Bowmaster at a time, I can't cast both. Still a Bowmaster. Are they going to cast a Jewel? Nope, no Jewels. I will flash in a Bowmaster. Hit. And then I'll flash this in before damage as well so that I can turn off some of these Ancient Tombs. Now they go to 3. That's quite good for me. Okay, and I have a Mindbreak Trap, so if they actually do manage to chain off in any way, I still win. Pith Needle resolves. What are you going to name? Abandon Hope? Oh, the bird. Okay, cool. We got the match. We're 2-2 now, and I'll see you all for round 5. Okay, we're here for round 5. We're against Montolio, Andy Marketon, a vintage stalwart, devastatingly powerful player. I'm going to keep this hand, I think. Ooh, I don't know. No, I'm not. It doesn't cast anything. Mulligan. This hand is a bit better. To put away one of the Force Negations in case Force Negation is bad. Oh. See, no, he's on Squeevine. So yeah, Force Negation is bad. We'll keep it. We're gonna mulligan this hand because it doesn't have a good way to answer this stuff. I think, yeah, I go to 5 now. I know the matchup. This is better on 5 because Vaccine Bauble beats them straight up. So keep, put away Dig Through Time and Swords to Plowshares. Done. Okay, so play out Wasteland, cast Black Lotus, go triple black, Bowmaster. If that gets forced or something. Doesn't. Convenient. How about a Vexing Bauble? Because this card basically stops everything of theirs from resolving. Oh, well, my Bowmaster is dead, but that's okay. Yep, cool. I was trying to bait the force with the Bowmaster. Obviously, it walked right into Pyrokinesis, but what you gonna do? So yeah, casting a couple zeros and getting a Vengevine into play is how he does win this one. So I should be wary of that as a plan. For right now, I'm just gonna leave the Wasteland up, I think. Yeah. Or, no, I'll pop it now. I should have done this before he untapped. But either way, is what I wanted to do. Oh, backup Bazaar. Okay, well. Such is life. He's looking for Vengevines. I need lands. I knew about that. I'm just going to F6 because I can't counter anything. There's Vexing Baubles in play. We're just grinding it out. Squeeze are getting pitched. Another Bazaar, another activation. He's digging for Vengevines. Still no Vengevines. Tundra. Start. Obviously, a bunch of squeeze back to hand. Turn off auto yields, pretend I might have a source of plowshares. Discarding 3 squeeze. Look at this card advantage engine. Yeah, this has been all Bazaar and Jewel, which is the things I didn't face in paper at Eternal Weekend. This is a harder discard for him. I wonder what that means. Obviously, if I had known that he had no forces, I would have sequenced my opening hand a little bit differently, but I wanted to bait the force with the Bowmaster. That was intentional. Yeah, this gets cast and countered. Does not work. Wasteland is rough, but yep. That's just the way these things go. All one is also countered. And we send it. Okay, so ideally I kind of want to just like have fetch lands or something. So that I can protect this and get a Lavinia out. Although really, I guess what I need is what? There's a Vengevine. That's not good. It's going to discard root wallows and stuff? Probably. Yep, so now a Vengevine comes, 2 Vengevines are going to come in. This is how he wins this game, by the way. Obviously, this is because I have had no pressure because of the way this is all timed out. Now I'm facing down 2 Vengevines and going to 12 immediately. Bowmaster would have been great, but that's not the way the cookie crumbled. And I concede. Okay. So Montoya's up a game here. Now, what do I want? I really want this. I really want this. I really want this. Those are all great. What's not so good? Force Negation is practically done this matchup. Spell Pierce is eh. Mental Misstep does counter a lot of stuff. Dress Down is pretty meh. Let's see what else here. Prismatic Ending really only kills Chalice, but it also only really kills like little things like Root Wallas. I want Source of Plowshares. Containment Priest is not that good. It only really stops the Vengevine stuff. These cards are much more impactful. These 5. So I could see leaving the Containment Priest on the board and just boarding like this. Is that what I want to do? I think so. Just confirming real quick in my head that this is what I want. I think it is. Okay, so let's send back. Down a game, we'll be on the play. This hand has a Wasteland for the Bazaar, and it has a Spell Pierce for other stuff. Yeah, we'll keep it. So I'll play Land, Jet, Pass. And then we'll see if I need to fight over anything. Bazaar is being activated. Bazaar is going to get Wastelanded. Almost assuredly here. Looks like one mad Root Wall is coming in so far, which is okay. Probably a hollow one from hand is my guess. Yep, there it is. And so at this point, the question becomes for me whether or not, I think I need to just plow the Vengevine now. Plow that Vengevine. It did not connect. That's wonderful news. Second hollow one. That's less wonderful news. Force of Will is okay. Let's see here. What's my plan to survive? I think I have to start with wasting the Bazaar. Will I take 9 if I do that? Yuck. I don't think it gets better for me otherwise. I just have to waste the Bazaar here. I have to force any creature that gets cast. This is not a great spot for me to be in. A lot of damage. I need a Tabernacle. Strip Mine is not good for me either. Maybe he's holding it for a Tabernacle. That'd be pretty wise. Yep, he's holding it for the Tabernacle. What do we find? Do it on this, or are you going to try to play around Tabernacle? Throw it in. Okay, I have Lavinia now. So I will fetch another Tundra. Play her. That way I'm not cut off of white. This gets forced, I'll force back pitching Spell Pierce. And then my plan is to dig through time for a Tabernacle. Although again, he's being very careful to not expose that. So he's sending. I block like this. I go to 1. It's kind of a wild block that I'm doing, but it banks on me getting lucky. That was not the luck I needed, because I needed to hit something to go into the yard. Maybe that was just the wrong play. I should have chump blocked so I could guarantee cast dig through time. I just pass. See if he attacks. Sure he does. Yep, GG. Rough. Okay. Well, 2-3. A little bit unfortunate with that disconnect, but I'll do my best to rally and end up 3-3. Maybe I can top 16. I'll see you all for round 6. Okay, here we are for round 6, final round. I'm against Hank the Obese, who's Lee Webb got 9th at Eternal Weekend, North America. Also a terrifying player. And so, you know, it's kind of funny to face him at 2-3, but that's how these things go sometimes. This hand is alright, actually, against some of the more unfair stuff that people can throw. It's got a force, it's got a pierce. I'm going to keep it. I don't quite know what he's playing today. Passing? Nothing? I'm going to just Pluto Delta go. What's he doing? Ancient Tomb. Okay. I'm going to fetch a Tundra, just kind of thin a little bit. Or to have an extra fetch land. Of course, I do draw a land, which is not what I wanted. I'm going to pass it back again. I want to leave up the Spell Pierce, make the Spell Pierce live. He's playing Jewel, so we're just doing non-stop Jewel stuff this whole time. I'm going to Spell Pierce the One Ring. Probably going to get forced, and I'm going to have to force back. No, it didn't get forced. Very fortunate. We drew another land. That's too many lands at this point. I'm going to put a Lurrus into my hand, because I need a pitch for this Force of Will. Does he play another ring? Yeah, I've got to force that one, so force pitching Frog. We'll see what he does. It resolves. Great. Okay. So now, Lavinia. So I'll go white, blue, Lavinia. She resolves. I'll play a Caracas to help protect her. That's going to be really, really good in this matchup. Because it means that anything larger than CMC2 is not happening. Yeah, this monolith is coming and not much I can do about that. Okay, I'm up a game. So boarding the same way I've been boarding, I think, where I cut the Nethergoyf. I'm going to cut the Spellbomb. I'm going to cut the Vexian Bauble. I'm going to cut at least one plow, maybe two. I'll cut 2 plows for right now. And then I'll bring in Pithing Needle. I'll bring in the Null Rods, bring in the Consigns and Mindbreak Traps, and I'll cut that Caracas. So another round of Jewel. Yeah, I guess it's not that bad that I, disconnected in round 3 and wasn't able to finish the recording, because you have 3 rounds of me facing Jewel instead of 4, which I think you'll be okay. At least I'll be okay. Matchup's a little bit monotonous, at least in my opinion. The Jewel deck either does their thing or they don't. They win big or lose big. And so I feel like once you've watched it a couple times, you've watched it all. But yeah, let's check this out. So I don't have colored mana. I do have a Needle and a Pearl and a Null Rod. I'll keep it. This is iffy. I'm going to keep it off the basis that I don't think this Null Rod is going to resolve. It's kind of an interesting gambit on my end, but I have a feeling that this Null Rod is not going to stick around. Oh, never mind. It resolved. Okay. Well, I've got to draw well now because I've locked myself out of doing a lot of good stuff. A pair of tombs. I'm going to name Karn the Great Creator with this Pithing Needle. Did draw Ancestral Recall, so eventually things will be looking good there. So let's do some Karn the Great Creator. I'll pass it back to Lee. Okay, this is entering tapped. And then if I draw a blue source here, I'm doing great. Drew a strip mine instead, so I'll float mana. Let's get a black lotus, play a strip mine, and pass the turn. So again, as soon as this null rod leaves play, my mana's unlocked. So it's kind of a weird situation where I'm okay as long as we're in this place. And I have card named with Needle, and I can strip mine an Urza Saga with its first trigger on the stack. Paradoxical outcome draw 2 is fine by me. Just recasting its stuff. Found a blue source. Great. So now I think I'm going to pass for another turn. And then if I need to pierce something, I will. Because I feel like the likelihood that he has a force at this point is quite high. Workshop, okay. What's coming in? A jewel? The way he cast it, he can pay for spell pierce, so I guess I'll ancestral now because he either will already have had it or won't. Yeah, I'll ancestral target myself. If it gets forced. Doesn't. It also means that I can't interact with this jewel. The cards are drawn. Time walk. And because of that time walk, do I change where I'm pointing the strip mine? Strip mine the blue now. Yep. This just makes bouncing things a bit harder. So he has another turn here. And if he's holding back the Saga, at least I have a Wasteland in the bank for that. Actually, Metamorph is going to be another coveted jewel. And Ruby that doesn't do anything. Yep. This enter tapped. Great. Clean up, step. Monolith down. So I have 2 spell pierces. I think that I want to pass the turn and try to use both of them. I think that's a better bet. Or, you know what? Never mind. I'm just going to play the frog. This gets forced, it gets forced. I don't really care if it gets metamorphed, because if it gets metamorphed, I can still jump it and he can't activate. And again, if Null gets pierced, or Null gets bounced or something, all of a sudden I have access to all this mana. So I could start piercing things. 3 mana. Is this a metamorph? It is, okay. It's going to be a jewel or a frog? It's a jewel, yep. Yeah, Lee understands how this works. Thinking again. Okay, that's a lot of blue mana right now. Oh my goodness. This Wasteland found a target. If I could even get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A lot of mana. Okay. What's happening now? It's the big PO? Probably big PO. Okay, it's an Odawara, so it's what we talked about. So now that that's off the field, I do have Lotus and stuff active now. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to go like this and cast a Dress Down. This will prevent Phyrexian Metamorph from working. These Spell Pierces are doing a fat load of nothing, by the way, because he has 4 plus 9, 13, 15 mana available. He could hardcast an Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn. Obviously, if I untap, I'm dead. Or if I don't what am I trying to say? I could win in response or whatever, right? Is it 4? So I could just like, if I untap, he's dead. That's what I'm trying to say. There we go. I untap, he is dead. Paradoxical, draw a bunch of cards. Some cards are up. Cards are in hand. Find the Force. Ancestral, yeah, sure. I don't think the difference between 17 and 20 cards in hand is all that much to me. So we'll see if I'm able to effectively stop this thing. Force of Will. Well, at this point, it can only copy my Frog or my Lotus. I guess I could sack the Lotus. Yeah, I guess I just sack Lotus. And then let it resolve. And then I can fight over this Null Rod on my turn. It chose a Pearl, so I was wise to sack the Lotus. Now, a lot of stuff is going to get played. I do have 2 Spell Pierces for this jewel. So first one, he can pierce it. Or he can pay for it. Second one, he might not be able to. Goes to 2. Let him pay. And this might be enough. Hopefully. Oh, he has a Force. Okay. Force pitching, sink into stupor. The jewel has resolved. And he's up to a bunch of cards. One bunch of cards. But I was maybe skipping over my floating mana into second main to do more actions. Yep. Tight play. That's what I would expect from him. Now let's see where this goes. 5 mana. It's a big PO. I just want to try to take another turn. All I want to do. I just want to attack for 1. Is that too much to ask? Unfortunately, this might be, it's either a jewel or a frog. Both are bad for me. Yeah, it's a jewel. Okay. And the chain continues. Probably has another PO as well. Monolith, yeah, he's just ramping before POing. I'm going to F6 at this point because I have no more actions I can take. I will pause and unpause when he's done with his turn. POing is drawing ability cards. So at this point, it looks like Lee's plan is to play a bunch of these permanents to discard or play out Frog, discard a bunch of stuff, and then he'll be able to one-shot me or close to it. Now he does have a Mana Crypt in play, so I don't know how he intends to deal with that. Also, he has not time walked or anything like that, so I am also live to take a turn, I believe. Like if Mana Crypt, like he could die to a Crypt Flip here, right? Unless something else is going to happen. Anyway, yeah, he did a bunch of stuff, as you can see. Discard a bunch of cards here, but 9 cards in library, 11 cards remaining in hand, even though he has a 13 whatever Psychic Frog. Yep, so now Paradoxical is back in the hand. At this point, he's just looking for his Time Walk. No, he's already used Time Walk, so he needs his Time Vault. If Time Vault is way at the bottom of the library, then this is a problem for him. But otherwise, I do get there. Probably don't get there, but I just want to see. You know? This is the vault. No, it's the Mana Vault, a different vault. Not to the Vault of Time, but the Vault of Mana. Tinker? Okay, Tinker's going to find the time. No, it found the One Ring. That doesn't give protection when not cast. Strange. Okay, Jules untapping. I wonder what his plan is here. Dismember my frog, okay. Soul Ring, yep. It's not killing me yet. And I guess I could technically ponder for a plow and be in it. Or draw a creature, you know. Yeah, 3 cards in library. We draw a creature. Ooh, Null Rod. Suppose I shall ponder first. I find a creature that's good for me. Should have been more specific. I cannot cast Frog. So since I can't cast Frog, I think I have to shuffle this. So I will play the Rod to discard more cards to make this a one-shot. He does. One more. Okay, I'll concede to that. Okay, because he just attacks me for lethal. So going into game 3, do I want to change anything about how I'm doing this? I don't think so. Maybe I do want another plow and I can just cut a Pithing Needle for that. The Pith Needle was not that relevant to Picard. Okay, let's go. Here we'll reveal Lurrus. Keep. Nice that we have a probe so we can see what we're looking at here. So probe you with life. What you got, Lee? Show me your secrets. So workshop. Tinker. Tomb. Metamorph. Okay, so nothing on turn 1, as far as I can tell. I'm gonna jam out this frog. And then, let's see, workshop, okay. Oh yeah, metamorph is fine because I can basically prismatic ending this and then wasteland the shop. So white, black, 1, 2. Yeah, this gets potentially. Yeah, and then I'll attack first. Why not get full info? This is almost certainly my play of just wasteland. Yeah. Wasteland to the shop. Okay. So now what's up for Lee? Ancient Tomb. You knew about that. Sapphire. Okay, so this is probably going to be a Tinker. Spell Force Negation. Force of Negation. Karn, One Ring, PO are the last cards in hand. So we attack. Let's see if we can draw a Wasteland or something. Through Consign, that's also good. So I pass if Bowmaster and Consign up. I will consign either the One Ring or Karn, whichever one cast first. I'm not gonna. I could, double cast it, like cast it with Replicate. But I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna get this Bowmaster in play. Because it's a nice clock for him. These 2 tombs, he's losing a lot of life really fast. So yeah, start with an Ancestral on me. Me Ancestral. Discard. Discard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Card. And then I attack. So now you can only tap 1 Ancient Tomb. Cool. Okay, that should be enough. Either one of these tombs puts him out. Cool, got the match. So 3-3 overall, 3-2 in matches that I was able to play to completion. Matches where I did not get power outage to death. You got to see me battle against a lot of Bazaar and shops, jewel shops, which is a little bit different than what I had played in my Eternal Weekend run. Yeah, this is the deck again. Overall, I think I was kind of happy with Prismatic Ending. I don't know if I was like overjoyed. There were points that I wished there was a Plow. There were points I wished that Plows were Prismatic Ending. I think I'll play this 3-1 split for a little bit longer and just kind of see where I land. But overall, yeah, pretty happy with this. I might top 16. We'll find out. Probably not though. I'm probably gonna end up in like the 18-20 range. But yeah, this was a fun event, and I hope you enjoyed watching the Vintage Champ play some Vintage. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.